Welcome students. Today we are going to create a impactful and engaging content as a motion graphics like this. Wow, this is a this is a engaging content as a motion graphic, but we create only on a Premiere Pro. Yes, we have right. We creating an engaging content as a motion graphics within Premiere Pro.
Adobe Premiere Pro is industry-leading timeline-based video editing software developed by Adobe. It is used for professionals and beginners to add color grade, mixed audio, and add effects to videos for film, TV, and social media. In my view, Adobe Premiere Pro is a tool mainly designed for editing long-term footages, color grading, audio and sound optimization, and minimal graphics work. It is especially used for cinematic video, podcast, film introduction, and profile videos.
Now we are going to create this video. So we're going to create a Premiere Pro. I have a 2025 version. So I open the Premiere Pro. Now is this time to create a project. I will create a project and add a location here. Then I will manage my folders. I add a PRG name and add your name, our video, and I add a location, and I don't need a template.
Never create project folders on the C drive. There is Windows installed. Because Windows is crash, there is a risk of losing files. Always store your projects, assets and resources on the D drive, yeah, and an external drive is one organized folder. This keeps your project safe, prevent missing links, and make it easier to share or use the project on other systems without any broken files.
Okay. So I will create a custom all of the files. Then after I will skip this. Then I will create a new sequence.
In Adobe Premiere Pro, a sequence is essentially your editing timeline. It is the canvas where you assemble, cut and layer your video clips, audio and graphics. Horizontal sequence 9020x 1080 resolution, standard full HD. Vertical sequence, the mobile standard 1080x 9020 resolution. FPS detect the frame rate of your sequence, how many individual still images are played back every second to create the illusion of motions.
And we want to need a vertical sequence to create this video. Okay, so we are create a custom also, and we are selected a vertical, and we add a vertical dimension like 1080 to 920 resolution as well and create it. Then I name as a sequence, and I put this reference video on my project panel. Now I double click it.
The source monitor is your preview screen for raw footages before it goes into your video. What it does, you double click a clip in your project folder to open it here, look through it and select the best parts. The main tool you use in I and out O. The marks to choose exactly where a clip should start to end. Next step. Once you selected the perfect slice, you drag it and down at your timeline to beat your video.
And I check the video to help me to create a similar video like this on Premiere Pro motion graphics like this. So I play here with this timeline source panel. Okay, so first of all I will create a text on this. So I add a text on my this panel, project panel, and I add a text like this. So it's time to change this font. I will change this font like a poppin, and I want to change this pivot angle because we need to the rotate and animate this text. So I'm going to change this pivot options on the bottom of the y text, y letter. Then so I rotate it as a I change the position as a -90 angle. So my text rotate on a vertical format, and I duplicate this with the alt left mouse button, drag and drop. Then I duplicate it and I change this text as a small, then others, and I create a fast video to because this is a copy paste time. Okay, so as the same thing I do it, and you also do it as the same thing. So I this is and this time and create a full content and manage a size as well. So I will create a five letters and sorry, so I will create a five words like this as a your small taking and consistency. But I have as a problem. I have a full my dimension as a full frame, and I need to as a horizontal sequence to create a full text layers by layers, and after them add my logo and a circle ball animation. So I will create a new sequence as well, and a vertical and as a horizontal 1920 Hz 20 resolution 1080 resolution. Add a name, and I copy this all of the text and paste here. So my all text is completed now, and I all manage and size and align all of the text as a sequence. So this time is to add a circle ball and ball like a reference video. So I go into the shape tool and I add a shape, and I click shift and left mouse button, and proportionally draw a circle in my program panel, and I go into the effect control and change these properties like I add a stroke color, and add the orange color and more thickness increase, and I hide a fill form, so I have a stroke circle shape. Then I change this size, and I change and I adjust this pivot like. And I also rename this file on layers pan on layers, so I know where's my circle ball, and I add a name of the circle, and this time is to change this, and this time is to animate this. So I go into the shape properties.
If you want to add an animation, you need to click the stopwatch icon next to motion or any other property to add an animation. Then you change the values on the start to the end to set your animation by default. This will be a linear animation. If you want an eased, smooth animation instead, you need to select all keyframes, right click on them, go to the properties and select ease in, ease out. You can also use an advanced manual method to create your animation using handles. To use the handles, you need to expand the view of your effect panel, your program panel. Then you will see these handles dot next to each keyframe. You can adjust and fine tune your animation using Alt left mouse button, yeah, Control left mouse button on these handles.
And I add a stop animation like this, first frame of the this layer, and I going to the 7 frames after, yeah, 10 frames, and I add and I move my circle on scene. Then this time is to your text, so I sequentially animate this text, move, rotate after the circle in on scene. So I check this pivot in the bottom on center, bottom and center of your text. Then I add a stop animation rotate, and after the 7 and 10 frames I rotate this little. Then after the same thing, after the your text animate, then then start animation as a small but same here with this line. So I add a stop animation. Then first of all check the pivot on bottom and center, then add a stop animation, and after the 7 and 10 frames I rotate this, and this time I fast this, I do it the fast of video, because this time all of text same animation and same setting I use it, so you also do it same. Okay, this time is fast. And my all text animation completed, but little a problem. I want to change the pivot, and I add a pivot point on a center of S letter, and now is a rotate on drop like a bottom like this. As a done it, and now this time is to all of words, uh, up all of words. Okay, so I add a stop animation, starts here right now like this, and I same thing all of the text like this. So video fast now. Okay, all of the text here, and this time is to change the text color success, and now it's time to add a glowing effect on text success. So I added cut.
It's called the eraser tool. There is no erase tool, instead you just cut and delete. Shortcut, press C on your keyboard. What it does, it's turn your cursor into a razor blade. Click anywhere on a video or audio clip in your timeline to slice it in half. If you have selected a specific layer and you press Ctrl plus K, a cut will be made on that layer exactly where your timeline play ahead slider in locate it. Pressing Ctrl Shift K will apply a single cut across all layers on the timeline at the position of your playhead.
With a control K as a shortcut, yes, C, you click on the keyboard like a C. So I use a razor tool, then I'm going to the success properties after the cut layer, and I change the orange color, and okay, now I'm going to the effect panel, and I write a glow, and I have two options, a VR glow and a alpha glow.
VR glow is a beam effect in Premiere Pro used to create a vibrant neon-style blue and glowing look while originally made for 360 VR videos. Editors love using it on regular videos and text because looks much better than Premiere's older glow.
So I add a VR glow, add on my text success, and I add a properties, change the properties as well, and I add a color tint, check check use tint color. Now my text is glowing like this. So my animation is completed now. So I and this time is to circle animation. So I do the same thing. I add a cut here. Then after the successful color change and glowing of the layer of circle, then I animate with stop animation with this position properties like this. Then after the 20 to 10 frames, I add a stop animation, and my circle animation jump I will add a like manual. We need to know time duration, so I select all layers and increase size with the selection tool, and increase. So my circle animation is done, and now it's time to add my logo. So I go into my folder. So I use my logo here, and I drag and drop on my Premiere, and I add this, and I manage its size and duration. Okay, and I want to remove this white color because I need only stroke logo like this, stroke logo. So I go into the effect, and I add a key. This is the ultra key. Ultra key is, so I add a ultra key on white color, and change and add manage all properties and remove all whiteness, and I need to the stroke on white. So I go into the effect, and I add a tint, and I add tint effect on my logo, and I add a white color, so my logo is highlighted with a white color stroke, and I add a glowing effect, so I copy glow effect on circle and paste on my logo panel. Then I manage these properties. So my logo is very glowing, and I want to move, and I want to more smooth animation on a circle after the jumping and going my lower side. So I big so so this time is to big view on my timeline animation panel, and I'm all of this, and I all select all of these keys animation, and I right click and ease in. So I have a little smooth animation, and I use a, and I manage with this animation like this. and you need to the manage, you use as a ultra left mouse button. Yeah, you use con- as a control and left mouse button to manage this handle animation like this as a curve. And after the and each stop animation keys you manage with this handles with these keys: alt left mouse button and control left mouse button. Manage with this animation like this. And now it's time to video fast. And I want to need to little fast and manage and smooth more, so I add it like this. Also videos are fast. That's a good news. We completed our animation, and now this time is to going over a final vertical sequence. And I remove this all of text layer, and I go add my horizontal text sequence on my vertical, and asking to keep existing you change, so I need a keep existing settings, and I animate and zoom in animation with these keys at a position scale on. So maybe as a fast now. So our videos are done, and now we add on a text sound effects. So I go into the source panel, and I also use this sound effects because the latest SFX. So I go into my source panel video, and I add a in and out when I need it, where I needed the SFX use on my videos. So I use this. So I add and drag and drop this audio and manage here. And now I copy paste all of my audios after the each text attach a track other text like a source panel animation, like a source video animation. Then I added this success text sound effects, glowing and magic. So this I drag and drop. Now our video is completed. So this time is to render. So I add a in and out. So I add a CO press, and so the first time I add a I press, then I go in my export panel and I change my location in the name. Then I need always the MP4 format, so this H264 is also MP4 format, and uh, all of the settings is the same here as your sequence. So then it's my going to the video toggle panel, and I go into this bottom, and I need to the high res and not to the more high files. So I add a CBR and a 5% is a high quality, and then this time it's going to export our video, and now I watch this. Okay, the video is completed.
If you want me to create a complete editing course for you from basic to pro, including a fun introduction to Premiere Pro, basic layout, downloading, setup, cinematic editing, and motion graphics, then leave a comment for me. Based on your interest and skills, I will decide when to create and release it for you.